meditative.
Oh, let this meditative song bring us to our center. I'll play that little short thing, and then you'll do your thing. And I'll underscore you for your prayer.
Okay. So I say who I am, and then the meditative song comes in. Then I do the power talk, and then
So, as you want the invocation underscore that.
yeah.
That might be easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm new.
I just
I
want to
say
make
who
sure.
I am. Take it to our center. My power talk, and then after the power talk,
Morning.
Morning.
Lady.
then it's let me pray. So let us pray. Let me pray. And then thank you for asking.
Okay.
I thought you were
Just
doing
want to make
great.
sure I had it good.
Glorious,
Yeah,
gorgeous, and
you're
beautiful.
good. You're good. Yes, always.
Mars?
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantabulistically good, great, grand, glorious, gorgeous, good. So are you.
Thank you kindly. So tell me one thing.
I can tell you more than one thing, but we'll start with one. What's up?
Where do I sit?
I have absolutely no idea.
Is that where you sit?
Only for meditation. So I think you take this spot afterwards. I have no idea. I don't know why there's 15 chairs up here. I'm guessing one is Reverend, one is yours, and then those are whatever's on them. I feel displaced.
You look in the perfect place.
But I feel displaced. It's okay, I'll survive. It's not my first rodeo.
You are amazing, though.
It's what people tell me.
It must be truth then, right?
I don't know. Somebody once said the sky is actually gray. And I thought to myself, the clouds are gray. I don't think the sky is gray.
Some people are colorblind.
That's true. Good morning, everybody. Welcome for the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont's meditation service. We have things constantly that we carry around with us, ideas, luggage, papers, our purse, wallet, cell phone. Every one of these things is a distraction from being in this here moment. All the noises that we hear, all the things that we do and think that we are, none of those really matter. So what we do is we set those things down. We put down our burdens. We put down the things that make noise, the things that distract us. The random bell ring. The crinkle of paper, the ringing cell phone, and we close our eyes. Either in real life or metaphorically, doesn't matter. What matters is that we stop utilizing the things, the senses that cause distraction. Our hands are wonderful tools. They interact with the universe. But so often we get sidetracked by what's going on with our hands. So we let go of whatever's in our hands. So often what we hear distracts us, so we stop paying attention to the things that we hear. Our sight is the same. We center into this moment, and in this moment, nothing is more important than just existing. All the places we need to go, things we need to do, stuff we may have forgotten. All of these are distractions from this moment, from now. The entire universe can be minimized down to one spot, one point, one moment, one. And when we let go of all the extra things that we hold on to, all the stuff that we carry on our back and our shoulders, in our pockets, we can remember that there is only one point, one spot, one moment, one person, one God. We take a nice deep breath in, take a deep breath of that one air, and we release that one air from our one mouth and our one lungs into the one universe, breathing in the one God, out the one God. How can God distract God? Everything that enters into our minds, we let go, acknowledge it for what it is, a whisper, a noise, a thought, a thing of separation. Acknowledge it for what it is, and you release it and let it go and become aware of the oneness. Every breath, every beat of the heart, the feel of the chair, it's all one. One set of lungs breathing everyone. One light shining everything. One sound. The human perception only perceives differences. Everything is literally just one thing. One particle, continuously, endlessly vibrating. Sometimes it seems it vibrates faster, sometimes slower. But there is no difference. There is no separation. So you take in that deep God breath, and you release that God breath into God, using God's lungs and God's mouth. The only difference in the universe is where you're standing. Each sound you hear becomes one sound when you're aware that there is no difference. It is the sound of the universe universing, of God Godding. So you breathe. And you let go. And you center into this moment. All loss in life is merely just losing sight of what was and coming into sight of what is. So when you breathe out, what is an empty lung being ready to be breathed back in. It's all one. It's all the same. Feel the peace of that oneness surround you. Feel the harmony between what is here and what is there, for it is just one. One spot, one breath, one life, one heart. Here and now in this space, in me, as me, through me, I feel the harmony that is God. It permeates all my cells, for all my cells are God. I sit here and know in this space that everything that I perceive, everything I feel, everything I hear and see is all one. I release my need for separation, knowing and trusting that in this space is safe, secure, all human concepts, knowing and trusting that God has got this. And so it is. Thank you for joining for my meditation today. We begin our service at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Grateful for your tenderness. Life can feel unkind. Grateful for the way you see when I'm stuck inside my mind. Grateful for your courage to hold your steady ground. I'm grateful for compassion when mine cannot be found. Compassion when broken hearts bleed. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. goodness abounds. I'm grateful when you take my hand and you turn my head around. Grateful for the healing and warmth of your embrace. I'm grateful for compassion to touch a deeper place. Oh, compassion when broken hearts bleed. Compassion, sweet compassion. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. Compassion, sweet compassion. I find compassion for friends and enemies. Compassion.
So Chuck, if you'll get, we're on, all right. So I want to welcome everyone here in person today. It's good to see you. We're seeing some faces we haven't seen. People have been traveling, so we're glad you're here. We're glad to have George Melton in the house, providing the music for us today. George at the keyboard, we're always glad when he's here. And I want to welcome you online to our love streamers. We want to welcome you to Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. And for first-time guests, do we have anyone here for the first time today? We have a welcome packet in the back if you want to grab one of those after service. Also, we have every Sunday a fellowship meal in Carter Hall. It's really good today. Ross made his homemade chili. There's cornbread. There's all kinds of stuff. I know Lois brought something wonderful. I don't know what it is, but I know it's wonderful. So we'll leave it in the wonderful. So we're having a full lunch after service. So come join us for conversation, and then we'll do a workshop after that. And right now, I'd like to invite you to take a moment and to be present and to turn your cell phone off, because we know that presence of spirit is all that we need to connect with today. So for the next hour, we're going to disconnect from Ma Bell, if they're still in business. Remember old Ma Bell, AT&T, and all of that, and Verizon, and T-Mobile, and all of those things, and we're going to just be present with spirit in the house, and that's the connection we're making. So right now, we'll go into our vision statement, if we have our vision statement slide ready. And so I'll go ahead with our vision statement because I kind of mostly remember it. So our vision is at CSLB, and this aligns with Centers for Spiritual Living. Our vision statement, we have a purpose statement up. Okay, so our purpose at Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, why are we here? What's our purpose for being here? And our purpose is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. That's raising ourselves above the mundane of the material into the majestic of the magnificent. And that's our purpose here. And our vision aligns with our CSL vision, our overall mothership vision in Colorado. And that's a world that works for everyone. And I like to add a ... to that and say with no one left behind. We want to make sure when we do our spiritual work that we're not leaving anyone behind. And we also want to make sure that people can hear us and we connect. And so Adrian's giving me the signal that I had not turned on my microphone. So now we're connecting with the online people. Sorry, my microphone wasn't on, and here in person. And our mission is transforming lives. And how do we transform lives? What's our mission? What's our mission? We transform lives one thought at a time. And that's our vision, mission, and purpose statement. And so we have the flames of faith behind us. And as you enjoy the flames of faith representing our unity candle, which we don't have lit at this moment, so let's light the unity candle, from which Tommi will light the unity candle. That's the unity candle that represents that oneness, that unity, that wholeness, that completeness, that allness that we are in spirit. And from that unity candle, that one candle, we light the flames of faith behind us. So that's the unity candle. That's why we're here today, to unify, to make welcome, to tap into that neighborhood of spiritual presence, and that neighborhood of sacredness that is this sanctuary, and that neighborhood of connectivity in our hearts. So I invite each of you right now to turn to somebody and wave and say, howdy neighbor. Just howdy neighbor. Greet someone you haven't said hello to today.
Howdy, neighbor.
So good morning. Yeah, howdy neighbor. Turn to someone you haven't said good morning to and say, howdy neighbor. And you know what I'd love to say? And howdy neighbor online. Howdy neighbor. And you can howdy neighbor us back by typing into the chat. So howdy neighbor us by typing into the chat. And right now we have an opening song from George.
So I think that a good reason for an opening song is to get the blood flowing in your body. So I like them to be a little lively and to raise the vibration in the room. We're going to do that today with Daniel Namad's song, My Soul is Welcome Here. We're going to do three verses. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I need to be. The second verse is going to be, I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just what I need to be. And the third one is, I'm just who I need to be. And of course the chorus is, my soul is welcome here. So I want you to join me in singing this. If you'd like to stand, you can do that. If you want to stay sitting, that's okay. right place in the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place in the right time. I'm just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place in the right time. I'm just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm just who I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just who I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just who I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Okay.
So we're always grateful to have George in the house, and he said, I'm getting the message loud and clear, and I brought a megaphone to help with my talk today, and we got here, and it arrived from Amazon in the package, and Ross said, did you bring batteries? And I said, no, because it says batteries not included. So I have been in search of C batteries for half an hour. I found D batteries in an old CD player under a table in Carter Hall, but we didn't find C batteries, so we're going to know that we're going to get the message loud and clear today. And we don't need C batteries. What we need are consciousness. We need the power of consciousness, and I'm knowing that's present today. So it's Birthday Sunday. So our souls are welcome here, so let's make our birthday souls welcome here. If this is your birthday month, if June, we're into June already, half the year is almost gone, June 1st. If this is your birthday month, we invite you to raise your hand. Wow, we've got some June, got some June birthdays. And so we're going to sing happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear godlings. Happy birthday to you.
And am I so grateful for the birthday reminder that it's Ross's birthday, because I haven't bought a birthday card yet. So gets me, yeah, I know, right? We do not want to do that, right? So we're going to honor our volunteer of the month. But the volunteer of the month has to know, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce their last name. So part of being a volunteer of the month is being open to however we pronounce your last name. So this month, and the great gift that goes with this, other than the recognition of volunteer of the month, is you get your own personal prime parking spot, yes? So our volunteer of the month is James, am I saying this? Macactio? How do you say your last name? Yeah, you from Idlewild. How do you say your last name?
Marquis and your big toe.
Marquis. Marquito. All right, so we're honoring Jim Marquito. He's relatively new to our center. We knew him way back from the Terry Cole Whitaker days, but he's always making homemade dishes and sauces and peppers and stepping up and volunteering. So he's our volunteer of the month. So use your private parking space. You only get it for 4 weeks, so take advantage of that. And we're inviting everyone to sign up for we have our flower ministry. And you have a choice. You can go on our website now. Reverend Neil got this up for us this week, where you can go on the website, and there's actually a flower ministry tab, and you can donate the flowers. You have a choice of 35, 45, or 55 to donate those. We will have a calendar where you can sign up live online, but that's not happening quite yet. So you can volunteer and make these. These are in honor of my mom today. So she loved yellow roses, so Ross kind of went overboard on the yellow roses, but this is my mom and Dad, you can, small photo, but I'm honoring my dad today and I'm honoring my mom. So Ross and I contributed those in honor of my mom and dad and bringing their presence here today. We have food for fellowship. If you choose to bring an entree, we will reimburse you if you bring the receipt for the cost of that entree up to $50. Now, you can donate it to the center, but if you want some assistance in reimbursement on that $50 for the entree, and then everyone is invited to bring a side dish or a salad or a soup, and we've got a great meal out there today. A lot of participation. We are co-creating this food for fellowship, so I thank you. It's a really important part of my ministry. It's really important part of community connecting, and it's working, and it's showing up, and people are contributing, and it's just wonderful to see that happening. That's our second sanctuary. This is our first sanctuary. That's our Food for Fellowship sanctuary. Joel Goldsmith book discussion is back to its regularly scheduled programming time every Thursday at 4 at Yvonne Fowler's home. Today, after lunch, noon to 1, there will be a forgiveness and healing workshop facilitated by Reverend Michael, and Shauna will be assisting as she is comfortable in assisting. This is a love offering event, and Shauna will be there holding that presence, holding that energy, so it's a tremendous workshop.
She won't be here, I'm sorry. She's here.
So I love this. I love this. If Shauna is in the house, will she stand up and say, Shauna is in the house? She's in the house. All right. So here's how this works. Thanks, guys, for the slides. They're great. And I just want to stop and pause for a minute and say, Shauna's on the practitioner track. And she's taking 3 really challenging classes this year, and she'll be entering a not challenging. Our visioning class goes up this Tuesday. It's certified. It's a wonderful class, not that challenging compared to the other ones. And she was really nervous today because we co-created this workshop and said, I can't do this. And I talked to her last night and said, yes, you can. She said, this morning she said, no, I can't. And so I think Yvonne called her, who is a practitioner, right? So Yvonne did her best practitioner work. Would be okay if I called Shannon? I said, yeah, call her. And so Yvonne did her best practitioner work, and now Sean is in the house. So part of this spiritual work is stepping beyond your comfort zone, even when you don't want to. And part of my work at this center is creating a safe space where you feel comfortable stepping up as fully as you can in the moment. And in a moment you need to step back, that's okay too. But I think the core of my work here is creating a safe space. Creating a safe space for you to play at the level you're comfortable playing. No is a perfectly viable word. When somebody asks you at the center, would you do this? No is a perfectly viable word. Because your no leads somebody else to their yes. So if it's not right for you, there's somebody else who will say yes to it. So today, after lunch, we'll be doing that workshop. And then this Tuesday, 2:30 to 4, we're going with our visioning workshop. We have visioning books out there. If you need a book, I've got some with me. It's a way of life. It's based on Michael Beckwith's work. Visioning is one of the tools that will empower your life. It will empower your life. Starting Thursday, June 4th, we are offering from 2:30 to 4. This will be right after grief group. We'll be offering, and it's a love offering basis, the 4 agreements. So if you haven't done the 4 agreements, again, we have books. We have a sign-up sheet that'll begin this Thursday, the 4 agreements. And the first agreement that we're all working on, don't take anything personally. I see people smiling. We got people working on that one, right? I think everybody's working on that one. And I think the second agreement is don't make assumptions. Don't assume anything. And the other agreement is always be impeccable with your word. If you speak your word and you commit to something, you show up. Because if you don't show up on the human realm, then Spirit can't connect with you because Spirit says, I'm not sure they're going to keep their word with me. So where do I show up? How do I show up? They're kind of bunny rabbit jumping around. Spirit can't keep up with you if you're bunny jumping all over the place. You got to sit and be still and be present. So be impeccable with your word. And the final agreement is, and I kind of think almost everybody in this room today does this, because if you're here on a Sunday, it sort of shows this. Always do your best. How many people here feel they always do their best? Or darn, hands up. I think we need more hands up. Not if other people think you do, but do you? How many times do you really go for your best? Betty Ann's got 2 hands up. She's naming it. Clan Jasmine's got 2 hands up. Name it and claim it, and it's yours. So yeah, so some great classes going, and I guess we have our second song, and then we'll go into Practitioner. You want to go Practitioner first? We're going to do Practitioner first, and then we'll go into.
We already talked about it.
All right. Don't leave me out of the program.
Sorry, but, good morning, everyone. I am Tommi Jones, and I am one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Beaumont. The other practitioners and I will be available after service for a moment of prayer on this side of the sanctuary. Please do not leave here this morning with anything on your heart. We would love to pray with you because we absolutely know that prayer works. So for this moment, please, everyone, go ahead and close your eyes so that this meditative song will bring us closer to our center.
When I forget, will you remember for me? When I forget, will you remember for me? Help me see what you see when I forget, when I forget.
So, I missed you guys. I didn't see you guys last month. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing happens by chance. So I've already put together my power talk. I already know what I'm going to talk about. I come in, and Reverend Michael is sitting having a class, and I hear this lady in the back talking about how she got the butterfly card. I think that was, and I got all excited because my power talk is about metamorphosis. And metamorphosis is all about the butterfly. So let me tell you about the butterfly. It's one of the most beautiful creatures in the world. It wisps through the air and it glides. They migrate from California to Mexico. There's over 20,000 species of butterflies. The monarch is one of the most regal and one of the most well-known because of its orange, black, and white coloring. But the metamorphosis of a butterfly, there's 4 stages. There's the egg, then there's the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and then the butterfly. The chrysalis stage is the most painful. The caterpillar has to literally die to become the beautiful butterfly that we know and that we see. So why am I talking about that? Well, because of Charlotte Joko Beck, a Zen master who wrote in one of the chapters of her book, Nothing Special, the cocoon of pain. Now, I know you've heard the metaphor about, we go inward so that we can ultimately evolve and become a butterfly. But what we don't talk about is that time of pain. That time of pain that is necessary for us to emerge as that beautiful being. In fact, many of us find ways to cope with life so that we can try to focus on pleasantness only. We go out of our way to avoid the unpleasantness of life, thinking that we can control everything, that we can somehow magically prevent events from happening in life that cause us pain. That fear of having to deal with the unknown and not being equipped to do so produces that unwillingness to move forward, to allow ourselves to go inward, to be able to then transform our beings into our highest and our best self. Again, we believe that we can control everything. And if we do, then we can avoid the pain and the fear. But fear is false evidence appearing real. We can't control everything. We cannot avoid or prevent ourselves from going through whatever life brings us. What we can do, though, is we can receive it, look at it as all as joy, and keep moving. So why then is this important that we talk about transforming from beginning to end? Well, it's partly because of the butterfly effect. If you've heard of the butterfly effect, you know that that means the smallest movement or change has a ripple effect like that, okay, that goes out into the universe. And so, if we choose and make that decision to make those small changes that go ahead and make us better, that allow us to evolve, then in some small way, we are creating that world that works for everyone, like Michael talked about. So today, I bring to you butterfly medicine, Native American butterfly medicine. And I've talked a little bit about it, but I want you guys to think about this as you are contemplating where you are on the cycle, because it is a cycle, to go from an egg, then to go into being a caterpillar, the chrysalis, and then the butterfly. Think of where you are. Is it where you want to be? If not, have the courage to go into the cocoon of pain. Yep, it hurts. It don't feel good. But when the butterfly is forming and allowing itself to be freed from the cocoon, again, it is painful, but it's absolutely necessary for us to get to our highest and best. So I encourage you, as you flutter out of here today, think about yourselves as the beautiful, metaphorical butterflies you are intended to be. So ends your Power Talk. So I'm gonna share something with you before I pray us in. I come out once a month and I get the opportunity to do the Power Talk. I was listening to Shauna being coaxed into doing her part. So I'm going to confess something. I come up here and I give these Power Talks, and one of my legs shakes every single time. That's my truth. I still stand up and I do it anyway. But for whatever reason, and it's not always the same leg. One day it's going to be my left, and the next day it's going to be my right. Each and every one of us has something that is a challenge to us. Now, I've been public speaking forever. I'm a former Toastmaster, but there's something about standing up here and me wanting to get my words right and wanting to share, because I'm like, oh, I want you guys to hear this. Oh, I want you to know that. Oh, I can't miss this. And every single time I do. Unless I read things verbatim, I would forget something I wanted to say. We're all that way. We are all that way. That's a part of the butterfly in me, sharing the pain. Okay? Woo! All righty. So thank you for that little aside. So what I was also going to offer is this, and I had asked that we get it at the last minute, but the serenity prayer. Does everybody know the serenity prayer? Let's do it. God or Spirit, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay. So, that being said, I am going to bring the energy down so that I can pray us in. I invite each and every one of you to allow the seats you're sitting in to support you. Lower your eyes if it makes you feel comfortable. Know that you are in the company of like-minded beings because Source is all there is. And it is in each and every one of us because we are born in the image and likeness of Spirit. And that God essence that is within us is also the same God essence that's within the butterfly. Today, each and every one of us has the opportunity to reflect on who we are, whose we are, where we are, and where we're going. Each and every one of us has the opportunity to know that within lies an evolving, growing being. In each of us, we see the face of God. In each of us, we display the face of God. And so today, as we sit here and we see it all as joy, we know that whatever is transforming and whatever metamorphosis we're going through, it's all good. We're at the right place at the right time. We are the people we're intended to be. And we are so much more. I am so grateful for each and every person in this sanctuary, online, and in this universe because of the shared commitment to becoming our highest and our best selves. And so because of that, I am confident as I release these words into law that they go forward. The butterfly effect ripples out, and all is well. So please help me anchor these words by saying, and so it is. Amen, amen, ashe, ashe. So now it is my privilege and my pleasure to introduce our senior minister, Dr. Reverend Michael Curcuru.
Thank you, Tommi. And Tommi, if you would stay up here for a moment. Adrian, if you would come from the tech booth. Adrian, if you would come up here and join Tommi on stage. And Yvonne, if you would join Tommi on stage. Jason, if you would join Tommi on stage. And Shanna, if you're comfortable joining, standing next to Tommi on stage. Tommi is talking about the caterpillar and the process of chrysalis and the emerging butterfly. I want you to know that in the house today, and is there any other practitioner or minister that I am not seeing in this moment? And if you will go namaste and hold these people in prayer. Before you today is our evolving ministerial team. We have Tommi, who is our practitioner for many, many years, and we've been together at many, many centers, but home-based in Palm Desert when we were becoming butterflies, when we were in the caterpillar and the chrysalis and becoming the butterflies that we are still emerging into today. And Adrian has been here as this practitioner core for several years. Yvonne, watching her growth in our classes this year has just been amazing. One class, she said, I read this prayer from Ernest Holmes for many years, and I've never felt it like this before. And she came alive, and that's it. It's not reading it. It's not doing a book study. It's being present and feeling this stuff. That's what these classes are about. Jason, challenging. He's doing our practitioner classes. He's on track to start, it's called now Advanced Consciousness Studies in September. Shanna has the visioning class to go. Jason has the visioning class. They complete that. They are ready to join our Advanced Consciousness Studies in September. This is the process of the caterpillars entering the painful process of chrysalis, and we're all in different phases, and becoming the butterflies. This is your established and emerging ecclesiastical team. And I want you to know in your hearts they're here to pray with you, to be with you, and to love you up when you don't love yourself up enough. So if we can give them a round of applause and appreciation, that's the emerging ecclesiastical team. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Good work. And so it's interesting, we had a little Science of Mind discussion group today, and butterfly came up, and I said, well, isn't that interesting? Because butterfly's in my talk. And then Tommi comes up and does a talk on butterflies. So I kind of think butterflies are in the house, whether they're fluttering and making us nervous, or whether they're calling us forth to be that higher being of presence. And I love that story about butterflies, that one of the truths about butterflies is that they can't turn their head and see how beautiful they are. Butterflies have no idea how beautiful they are. They don't have the ability to see that. And so what I'm knowing at Centers for Spiritual Living, and I'm not going to call this CSL Beaumont because I don't want to separate us. I want to unite us today with all of the CSLs. We are in the process of moving from caterpillar through chrysalis into butterfly. It is a challenging time for CSL centers. It is a challenging time at headquarters. It is a challenging time for our leadership. And so I know as we take the moniker of Beaumont away today and join in that unity of all CSLs as one, that together, all of the CSLs, many of them giving their Sunday service talk right now in this moment. We are called Centers for Spiritual Living because we center in spirit. That we are. And I feel a good minister and a great minister and a grander minister does the work to remember who he is or she is or who they are. And through that process of evolving from caterpillar into that unchanged, that ungroundedness, that tumultuousness of chrysalis emerges this beautiful vision of coming to know better who you are. And if CSLB, identified CSL, get rid of the B, we're not individual, we're united. All of us together are emerging. We're looking at ourselves. We're growing. We're taking classes. We went on retreats. 8 of us from the center went on a retreat. We're going to a Canada retreat in Banff. There's so much going on here. There's so much commitment. There's so much community. There's so much connection. It's amazing. It's amazing the connection that's unfolding here. It's amazing. And we're amazing. And I feel what ours is to do as a collective community is to help each of us as individuals to see the beauty of the butterfly that we are when we can't turn our heads or we can't look in a mirror and we can't hear when someone tells us how beautiful we are. As a community, to help us individually to realize that truth. And we realize that truth by taking time to stop and be present, to look and see beyond the conditions of this world into the consciousness that created them, and to listen, even without C batteries, to listen into the silence of that voice of your soul. Our soul is welcome here. That's why we're here today. We're doing soul work today. And so is it just possible that there are no batteries in this because soul wants us to be quieter and not louder? And that we can hold a megaphone We can hold a megaphone of principles and practices and prayers, but we don't have to shout them out loud. We can just be present with them. And in our presence, transformation occurs. Driving here today, let me backstep. Not too far, because there are chairs all over the stage. But let me backstep to a week ago at this spiritual retreat that the 8 of us were so privileged to go on. And I want you to honor the commitment of people who go to a retreat for 72 hours and hang out with 40 people they've never met before. And either you fall apart or you fall together. That's what happens at retreats. And in the best of the falling apart, we really fall together into knowing better who we are and where we're supposed to be and what is ours to do. So in that process of the caterpillar falling apart, if we allow ourselves that space, we then come to fall together in a whole new, beautiful way. And we take flight on our wings and we come to land where there's a higher pulpit and a higher purpose and a higher passion for us. And Ross is an introvert to a point of pain. Tommi talked about pain. We invited you here this Sunday to talk about pain and going into your pain. And so far, no one's left, because part of that is being present with that, but being present within a loving way and moving beyond your comfort zone. Ross is an introvert to a painful point. Nothing like being married to a minister who's an extrovert and wants to hang out with hundreds of people. Opposites attract, right? But opposites doesn't mean opposition. Ross and I are opposite in so many ways. But there's no opposition to saying, can we work on this? Can we stop and realize something's not working? Can we look at it in a new way, in a loving way, to make it work better? And can we listen into the beauty of the soul that we are? So while we are opposites, there is not opposition. There is not competition. There is a cosmopolitan cooperation. A cosmopolitan cooperation to work on our finances. A cosmopolitan cooperation to work on our relationship. A cosmopolitan cooperation to openly invite Spirit into our lives in greater and greater and greater and grander ways. I mean, a 3-day retreat in Apple Valley and then 3 days in Sedona. Wow. Wow. We got to open the invitation, and we did. We said yes to it. But what I want to share with you, we got up to the Apple Valley retreat, and we got out of the car and ready to go into registration, and 40 people had already gotten there. And they had already done a pray-in. You do a circle and you do a pray-in. And they'd already prayed in their intentions. And the only 2 people who hadn't stepped into the center of 40 people that they didn't know was Ross and myself. He gets out of the car, hasn't even closed the door, and they go, Ross, center of the circle. This is an introvert who has challenges being with one person, thrown into the center of the circle. Do you remember what your word was that you spoke? I don't. But he spoke, and then I was called into the center of the circle, and I believe my word was expansion. That was my intention for the weekend. So Friday night, we're doing all these musical chairs, but you're doing it with people, 40 people in a circle you're facing. Music plays, stops. You stop in front of that person, and you share from your heart. You share from your heart while you're there. You share from your heart what's going on. My questions when I stopped in front of someone, we had 3 questions. One was, what is your shadow? What is your shadow? My second question to the people I was in front of is, what is your light? What is your light? And my third question was, what's the voice of your soul? Music would play, we'd be with other people. So this went on for about 20 minutes. You'd been with 5, 6 people you didn't know, sharing from a pretty deep level. Ross comes to the back of the room. He gives me a look of death. We don't have opposition, but sometimes we have looks of death. But they're loving looks of death, right? Give your partner a look of death. It's a loving look of death. His face was lit up like a Roman candle. He was glowing. We'd been here a couple hours. He was glowing, and he turns to me. He says, "This place is a nightmare for an introvert." It's one of those moments I will never forget. So sometimes you're feeling butterflies, and sometimes your legs are shaking, and sometimes you don't feel you can step into that greater calling of who and whose you are, and you're not ready for that calling, but you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready for it. You wouldn't be at a retreat. You wouldn't be in a class. You wouldn't be at CSL. You wouldn't be here today if you weren't ready. So I guess part of my ministry is, I know I'm ready, and I couldn't know you're ready if I didn't know I was ready. I'm ready. I'm stepping in. And I invite you to the degree that you can step in to seeing, to stop and looking and listening, to realize you're in the caterpillar becoming the chrysalis, becoming the butterfly. It's a beautiful process. Stay present. Stay here. Keep coming back. Driving here, we had the air conditioning on today. It was a little warm in Palm Springs, and these are to honor my mom and my dad. They were kind of one. I wouldn't be here unless they were both here, right? One without the other, right? You can't have one without the other. So we'll honor them both today. And I remember I was saying in 1967, my parents bought a Ford ranch wagon. That was without the wood paneling. And all my friends and neighbors, they all had the LTD wagon with the wood paneling and the air conditioning and the fancy things. And my parents, we were ranch wagon people. We lived in a country town in Connecticut. Ranch wagon people. We don't need the wood paneling. No air conditioning. My mom said, air conditioning in cars is for rich people. We are not rich people. So we didn't get air conditioning. So we sweated like crazy in the summer, cursed the people who had air conditioning. We weren't evolved and enlightened then. And the next time in 69, when it was time to buy a new car, my dad bought the car with the wood paneling, the country Squire, with air conditioning. Yay, Dad! I came home and got in the car, and you bought it with air conditioning? And my mom goes, I no longer believe air conditioning is a luxury for rich people. I will never have a car without air conditioning again. So the lesson there is not about air conditioning or wood paneling or not wood paneling or a Ford or a Chevy or a Plymouth. The message is the only constant is change. And the only question is, are you willing to change with the change? And the way we change with the change is going back to our mission statement. We change one thought at a time. Wow. So our talk title is Stop, Look, and Listen. My father was a man of many mantras. One of his was, the reach of your dream should exceed the grasp of your doubts. The reach of your dream should exceed the grasp of your doubts. So I'm feeling into this moment, and I've been wondering all week when I was working on this talk, why is it that we don't fully appreciate people when they're here? But the great gift for me is that I'm appreciating my parents while they're in the here and after, but I'm appreciating the here and now in a way I've never appreciated them before. My dad said this, everyone desires to be more than they ever thought they could be. Go be whatever you want to be. He was military, West Point, right? Be more than you can be. His favorite mantra, and my favorite to this day, stop. Stop. Just stop. Just stop all that crap that's going on outside. Just stop that busyness of your mind. Just stop those doubts. Just stop them. And then when you stop them, take a look at them. and take a look beyond the conditions of this world and see into the consciousness that created them. And then listen. Listen. But don't listen from without. Listen from the within of your soul. Listen from the within of your soul. That was my dad. He always told me, do what you love and the money will follow. To his chagrin and delight, and to the depletion of his bank account, I did exactly what he told me. He had a rule. Summertime, you worked a summer job or you were in school. He was a college prof. He believed education is your salvation. And I'm here to stand here and tell you that education is your salvation to a greater experience of life. And so, following his advice, I took every class I could. I spent 6 weeks in Germany on a film study program. I spent 6 weeks in England and Ireland and Scotland studying the music festivals over there. I spent 6 months in Washington, D.C. on a poli-sci program with the greatest of people in an internship and in housing and urban development and seeing how all that worked and how funding worked. And I just ran every bit and far away I could from a real job. And everywhere I could, where there was a real opportunity to get to know myself better. My dad said, stop, look, and listen. And that for him was birthed on a dark and stormy night upon the war game playing field at the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. For all of eternity, I will never know why they call war a game. For games have wins, and games have ends. And the forever pain of war has neither. It has no win, and it has no end. I'm an Army brat. My dad was West Point military. Trust me when I say the pain of war never ends. He had nightmares 3 weeks before he died at 90 years old of that battlefield night. My father's West Point class was graduated 6 months early so they could early enter the European arena of World War II. And he bought the moniker and he bought the beliefs of the higher-ups and the manipulations of those in control that World War II was the war to end all wars, so he went. He had 26 men under his command, decision. 26 of those men lost their lives and their limbs on a dark and stormy night the first week they were on the front. Well, my father survived that night. He was called, the memory of that night never left him. It never left him. And so the sins of the parents are visited upon the children. And so my father and I weren't at opposition, but we hadn't gotten to that cosmic consciousness of meeting in the middle ground that war was okay, because it wasn't with me and it still was with him. My father survived that night, but the memory never left him. He shared that in the dark of that night, he was called to stop in his tracks. He just had, boom, stop in his tracks. And to look into the battlefield front of darkness. He could not see anything but dark in front of him. And to hear into the silence. He was certain he heard the rumble of approaching German tanks. He had his communications officer call for air support bombing. The coordinates were given, the planes arrived, and the U.S. planes dropped their bombs. "300 yards short." My father was among the few survivors. He lost the use of his left hand. His body was forever riddled with irremovable shrapnel. Yet the greatest of his forever pain, right, The pain of becoming the caterpillar to the chrysalis, of becoming a butterfly and living a beautiful life and creating a beautiful life for his family. His real pain derived from the morning after, when the fog of dark lifted to reveal there were no German tanks anywhere nearby. War is not a game. There is no friendly fire. And the pain of war is forever. The follow-up report read a young, inexperienced command officer made a tactical decision mistake that resulted in the friendly fire deaths of American soldiers. He was exonerated of any and all wrongdoing, and yet he was never able to exonerate himself from the forever of the pain of that dark and stormy night. Yet I know he found consolation in the sharing with his 3 sons to always stop and look and listen. Stop and be present with life's conditions exactly as they are. Be present with the caterpillar consciousness you are. Be present with the caterpillar conditions that exist in your life. Look beyond life's surface appearances. Look beyond the appearance of that caterpillar cocoon. Look beyond the appearance of the cocoon of your finances. You're cocooned. Look beyond that cocoon. Look beyond the cocoon. I've never had a loving relationship. I was single 16 years. I go to a spiritual retreat to find God, and I met Ross. Maybe they're one and the same. Maybe they're one and the same. You know, look beyond the appearances of life's surfaces and listen and lean and dive deeply into the divine silent wisdom that's ever present in our souls. My dad was, in his own way, a kick-ass dad, and we're ready for the video link in a minute if we have the video link up. My dad was, in his own way, a kick-ass dad. He didn't kick me to the ground or in the ass. He kicked me with his aspirational affirmations, such as stop, look, and listen. And we have a video link that speaks to those people who give us those kick-ass boots.
My mother said to me once, some agents had just turned me down. They said I wasn't photogenic and that I would never work on television. That was in 1960. And she said to me, oh, Eddie Rue, for heaven's sake, don't you know every kick's a boost? And I've remembered that over the past 27 years. There've been a lot of kicks, and there've been a lot of boosts. I'm not going to mention the people who gave me the kicks, but you know who you are. And you'll be in the book.
So I don't think any of us have gone through life without getting the kicks and the boots. And the question is, are we going to, and this came up in group today, are we going to, by invitation only, receive from those kicks and the boots the consciousness of the blessing that all of our kicks have been, all of our caterpillar consciousness has been, all of our chrysalis process of transformation have been? Because we see those kicks as the loving consciousness of Spirit being present with us exactly the way Spirit needs to be present with us. You know, what the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. There's our butterfly. Butterflies all through this day. Our Science of Mind class and Tommi's talk, and butterflies are all over this place. The divine silent wisdom of knowing, I think, is what butterflies stir in us. They remind us to remember that every day is a new beginning. And that came up in our Science of Mind class this morning. Yvonne said, it's a blessing that every day is a new beginning. And I said, you guys have gotten my talk. You got butterflies, you got blessing, there's nothing left to give. But when we live in the now, the present moment, that's where we can create our future from the setting of our prayerful intention. The prayerful intention, what the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. And so I found this. This is from practitioner Monica Kramer, RScP, Calgary, Canada. And she posted this the other day, and I thought, wow, This is why we do practitioner work. This is why we do practitioner work. And we're all practitioners here. We're all practicing life. We're not perfecting it. Give that one up. We're practicing it. This is a prayer from Monica Kramer, RScP, Calgary, Canada. Every day is a new beginning. There is a substance emanating from the universe like light from a lamp or heat from a stove, except this substance includes all that there is. It knows only to give of itself that which it is, and it is love, it is peace, it is harmony, it is power, it is light, it is abundance, it is joy, it is wellness, it is wholeness, and it is wisdom. I'll have what that practitioner was having while she wrote this prayer. I'll have what she's having. I'm immersed in this substance. I am of this substance. So all these attributes are mine to use. I take them wherever I go. They are my companions. They support and comfort me in all ways, in all situations, in all of my experiences of life. Every day is a new beginning. If you missed today's beginning, you got a chance to begin again tomorrow. So don't regret that you missed today, because you got tomorrow on its way. Every day is a new beginning. To experience the world is all that I am. I am a vessel of universal love, and I step away every moment of my life as a new beginning and step into that. I'm grateful for old experiences that moved me to this day. I'm grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful for Ernest Holmes and his passion to put together this teaching called Science of Mind. I'm grateful for my own mind and that I have dominion over it. I'm grateful, so grateful, so grateful. I am so blessed. And that was the gist and the jazz and the jumble of our Science of Mind discussion group was about blessings, wasn't it? It was about blessings. And here we are. You know, I didn't see my father's good qualities while he was alive. How many people didn't see the good qualities in their parents while they were alive? Or didn't see all of them? How many of us missed out on that? How many of us missed out on that when we were teenagers and we didn't see anything good in our parents? Oh yeah, they're 100% of the end there. You know, yet I now see many of good qualities that they live on through me. They live on through me. And that's the way life should be. Love evolving to a greater good, light expanding to encompass the dark, and truth expanding toward justice. Ernest Hemingway was one of America's greatest writers. And one of his themes that goes through A Sun Also Rises in all of his books and all of his life is that we're all here together to walk each other home. Ernest Hemingway, his wisdom, his writings, and his words always expanded love in their own way, always told of the truth as justice expanding, and always spoke to the dark and the light. And two, he spoke of the truth. We're all here to walk each other home. And this is from Ernest Hemingway. Let's visit with Ernie today. In our darkest moments, right, my dad in the dark of that battlefield, in our darkest moments, we don't need solutions or advice. What we yearn for is simply human connection. A quiet presence and a gentle touch. Please don't try to fix me. And don't take on my pain or push away my shadows. Just sit beside me as I work through my own inner storms. Just sit beside me. Be the steady hand I can reach for as I find my way. My pain is mine to carry. My battles are mine to face. But your presence, and your presence, and your presence, and your presence remind me that I'm worthy of love, even when I feel I'm not. So in those dark hours, when I lose my way, and you will, but the cool thing about losing our way is we find our way again. We find our way forward. We find our way back to faith that was always there. We just have to remember. I will remember for you. I will remember for you. Hold my hand until the dawn arrives, helping me remember my strength. Your silent support is the most precious gift you can give. It's a love that helps me remember who I am, even when I forget. So as I stop and be present with this moment today, and I look beyond the presence of the consciousness of this life plane, and I hear into the silence of my soul, I feel such love of my Father for me. The day he passed away, I felt a connection. I knew he'd passed away before my mom called 10 minutes later and said, your dad made his transition. And I knew I'd never been so at peace in my life. I'd never been so at peace with Dad in my life. And they went, oh my God, he's in this place where all this is love. All there is love. And he's communicating with me. You're right, war isn't the way. War isn't the way. There's a place where all there is love. And I know he shared with me that moment. And that's a place I touch very, very often. And it's a place in the beyond where we become. And yet we can become that in the here and now of this moment. And the way we become it, says Ernest Hemingway. I love Ernie. I love Ernie. Ernie shares this. Ernest Hemingway says the way to that becoming is to write one true sentence. Write one true sentence. He says, write the truest sentence you know. Something honest, undeniable, and authentic. And from there, everything good will flow. Whether you are facing a blank page or the blank of the world, write the truest sentence you know. I think the truest sentence I know right now, love is all there is. Hattie Austin Mosley, how many know her story? Don't you love these untold stories of trials and tribulations and triumphs of caterpillar to get to the middle stage, to the butterfly? It's not catharsis. What is it, Tommy? Chrysalis. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. That process of transformation. I love this. Hattie Austin Mosley stopped, looked, and listened, and lived her life from the truest sentence she knew. In 1938, a newly wedded black woman stepped off a train in Saratoga Springs from New York from the Deep South with just $33 in her pocket. Her name was Hattie Austin Mosley. No family, no safety net, in the middle of the Great Depression. But what she carried with her was more powerful than circumstance. A cast iron skillet, Southern recipes from Louisiana childhood, and a fierce will to rise. Hattie had known hardship from the start. She'd known the caterpillar. Her mother died giving birth. She worked as a maid in a restaurant kitchen and to survive. But when she arrived in Saratoga, she turned her roots into her future. She turned her roots into her future. She turned her roots into her future. Seed, soil, and plant, that is our teaching. She turned her roots into her future. She opened a small food stand, Hattie's Chicken Shack. 24 hours a day she was there. She served fried chicken, cornbread, biscuits, real comfort food. And soon the line started forming. Locals, tourists, jockeys, musicians. Her golden fried chicken and warm heart become legend. Jackie Robinson stopped by regularly. Cab Calloway, even Mikhail Baryshnikov, when he came from Russia, had heard about her chicken and had to have her chicken and became a lifelong fan. Within a year, she opened a full restaurant. She didn't stop. She worked tirelessly into her 90s. At 92, she retired, leaving behind not just a restaurant, but a legacy. What's your legacy? You're going to leave a caterpillar legacy, a chrysalis legacy, or a butterfly legacy? What's your legacy? Her one true sentence that always helped Mosley not just to serve food, but she said she served dignity to every customer, she served hope to every person, and she served soul to everyone she met. She said her one true sentence is, when love meets grit, something beautiful always rises. You know, my mother's one true sentence and her recipe for life is, happiness is the decision I lovingly make. When my dad made his transition, I asked her if she was okay. And she said, you know, I was a war bride for a long time. When my dad came back from World War II, he was in Walter Reed Military Hospital for 2 years. So she was raising her young son pretty much on her own. She had some visiting hours. She moved down to be there, but pretty much separate. And she said, I learned to be independent then. I learned to love my life then. And I missed your dad for 6 months. Cried, can I have some ice cream? Can I have a toasted cheese sandwich? But she said mostly she loved her life because she got to be with herself in a way she never did when she raised 3 kids and was with a husband for 69 years, 3 weeks short of their 70th. She said she loved the last 7 years of her life. She was independent. She was inspired. She was inspirational. She was just amazing. And so in the interest of time, I'm not going to read the final passage, which is really beautiful, but in the interest of time, I will not read that today. But the ending of the passage I was going to read, and this is my mom. This is my mom in every yellow rose. Ross called me and said, what was your mom's favorite flower? Yellow roses. And he went and bought all the yellow roses at Costco. So if you want a yellow rose at Costco, Rancho Mirage, don't go there because there aren't any left today. But this was my mom. I invite myself into my own life, and I'm good there, and I'm happy there. I'm really, really happy. So today I invite you to invite yourself into your own life. And Darla, during our Science of Mind discussion group, said, really precious. She said, this teaching is by invitation only. This is not for everyone. You got to open the invitation. You can't make this stuff happen. You can't make this stuff up. You can make this stuff welcome. This is an open, by invitation only teaching. You got to open your heart. You got to open your soul. You got to open your mind. You got to change your life by changing one thought at a time. So as we come to the end of this talk today, I invite you this week to contemplate. What's your 3-word mantra? My dad's was stop and be present, look at the condition in a different way, and listen to the voice of your soul. What's your one true sentence? Mine is love is all there is. And this week I invite you to contemplate, what's your recipe for life? Hattie's was serving up a lot of soul. Not just soul food, but a lot of soul. What's your 3-word mantra? What's your one true sentence? And what's your recipe for life? And we'll end with a lady really enjoying having a cup of tea, really good with the life that she's living. And so we'll end with our affirmation. I'll read it first, and then I invite you to read it with me. As I stop, and I look, and I listen, I know beyond knowing I'm absolutely perfect exactly the way I am. And so now if we can read that together. As I stop, look, and listen, I know beyond knowing I am absolutely perfect exactly the way I am. And so it is. And so, there's flourless cake now, and there's carbless carbs, and there's non-tox gasoline fumes, right? So they tell us, right? And so in this space, I love this space right here in the center. I do all my classes from here. We do grief group from here, right here, right here. If you have not stood here before you leave today, come stand right here. And so I think we'll do a prayerless prayer. Flourless cake, carbless carbs, so let's do prayerless prayer. And I'm getting the message loud and clear. George took us there with our opening song. I'm getting the message loud and clear. Oh my. Oh my. This prayer is to be a moment of silence. This prayerless prayer is for us to be together in a moment of silent prayer. And as George plays under that, let's just take a moment of silent prayer. And know with me in that silence, in the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there is peace beyond understanding. And when we stop and we look and we listen into the silence of the soul that we are, the sentence that asks it to be spoken from my soul to your soul is love is all there ever is. And together I invite us to say, and so it is.
Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something that's gone, that'll never return. I think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything new. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I have is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will once more, just as I was back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new,
through, I want to thank George for being here on the first Sunday of the month, and I put a bug in his ear. Maybe he would help us get a choir started, and that's a little premature on that, but I planted that bug, so give him more appreciation so the bug will grow. The bug is planted. We'll see where it goes. But no, you'd be very, very welcome. We're just really so gifted when you're here. So however that works for you, let us know. And so now it's time for our conscious giving. And we call it conscious giving because we don't do it automatically. We do it every Sunday in a different way. And so this Sunday, we've been blessed by so many memories and so many flowers and so many stories and so many gifts. I invite you to look at this blessing of your gift of giving in a way that you don't normally look at it. So find a new way of looking at it, find a new way of seeing it, and find a new way of listening into that abundance of your soul, and see how you can express that today at our time of giving. There's so many ways to give, and if you aren't contributing, or you're a monthly contributor and don't have anything to put in the plate, just put your hand over and put your energy in. Just circle your hand over that plate, and that gets that energy going. So find your own way to circulate that loving energy today. And we'll read our giving statement together, and at home I invite you to read this with us. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. You can go to cslbeaumont.org and tithe there. You can text GIVE to 951-420-6909, whatever works for you.
I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful.
So know that this center is so blessed by your gifts, the gifts of your presence, the gift of your love, the gift of your light, your financial ties, and also know with me in our Science of Mind teaching, that which we bless blesses us. And so now it's time for us to circle up. If you're new, we circle up. If you're comfortable, we hold hands, we close that circle, and we sing our way out with a peace song, and George will lead us in that today. You know, I would just plant this seed that, there is no friendly fire, there is no winning war, and all there is love. So let's send this out to the battlefields of the world today.
Yes, it belongs to me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. We will walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth. Yes, it begins with me.
And so let our final prayer of this day be, very simply, yes, it begins with me. And so it is. We have a great prayer over here. practitioners on the stage, prayer practitioners in the back. So if you're looking for prayer, grab Adrian or myself or Amon. Lunch, workshop, and prayer. Doesn't get better than that.